25% of what number is 75? Percent goes in the first position. Of means times. We don't know that number. Let's give that a letter. Is means equals, and 75 would go here. If you were doing setup for choice 2, 45% goes in the first box, but you don't need to put the percent sign on that because you have taken care of it when you say 100. You've just made a fraction out of that. This is still in percent form. The is box, the of box. Is the is 75, and we don't know the of number. We'll call that y. The working of this, I'll do it the backwards first. I will do choice 2. Cross multiply 45y equals, we have 100, so it's 2 zeros, and 75. Numbers are on both sides of the equal sign. We are going to divide off the 45. Be fair. Before I do the division, let me go over here and catch up. All right, so we have 45% times y equals 75. We need to rename this into a decimal, 0.45. Y equals 75. We have numbers on both sides of the equation, so we are going to move the 0.45 off. Y equals 75 divided by 0.45. Take a look here at both of our problems at this point. The numbers are the same, except for the fact that we have a decimal point in the bottom number, the divisor, and the top, the numerator, is lacking these 2 zeros. That's going to be corrected when we start the division. For 0.45 divides into 75. On this one, 45 divides into 7,500. We cannot have a decimal in the divisor. It has to be moved off. There is no decimal point in 75, it's a whole number. So if it did exist, it would be after the ones column here. We have to add some zeros to move the decimal off. Then place it into the answer. Now our problems look similar. We have 45 dividing into 7,500. 45 divides into 7,500. So at this point, we've got the equations very much the same. On this side, you had to remember all of your rules for moving and switching the decimal point. But that's not that hard. It's just that you've got to remember to do it. Your problem does help you along because you can plainly see you have a decimal point in the divisor. It's just remembering that you can't have that. You've got to move it off. But once you remember that the divisor cannot have a decimal point in it, then it's pretty robotic to move it off. All right, now as far as the division goes, 45 will not divide into 7. It's too small. 75. Okay, we can take this in one time. $45 goes into 3, 30, 300, okay, so the whole thing. 4 goes into 3, no, into 30. Well, 4 times 8 is, or 4 times 7 is 28. So let's try that, 7. 7 times 5 is 35, and we're going to carry 3. 28, 29, 30, 31. We were just a little too high on that one. That means that this has to come back to a 6. Now I'll go. 6 times 5 is 30, carrying 3. 6 times 4 is 24, 25, 26, 27. And our subtraction gives us a remainder of 30. Bring down the next 0. Well, we're back at 300. We know exactly it's a 6 here. And this is going to be a repeating decimal. So we're going to get another 270. We're going to need to put a 0 here, and it goes again. So we would have a repeating decimal on that. On this particular one, we're going to have the same situation develop. I'm going to move that down just a little bit. $45 goes in one time. That gives us a remainder of 30. Bring down another 0. Goes into 6 times. 270 is another 30. And 6 more times. Now we would have a decimal point that would have to come up, and 6 repeating. So you can see that we're going to get the same answer on both of them. It's just a matter of moving the decimal point a lot. We have to move it here, and then we have to move it for our division. In this one, by putting our percentage over 100, we've actually taken care of that decimal point issue.